Welcome to Technogym. It's the third Technogym Design Talk. I'm very happy to host today here Luca Dini, AD Director, and live from London, Kelly Hoppen. Can we see Kelly? Ciao Kelly.
Hi everybody.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. Sad that you are not here with us, but anyway, I'm really happy to see you.
I'm very sad too, believe me. Nothing could keep me away from Italy, but unfortunately COVID has.
COVID has. So Kelly is a fantastic designer, one of my favorites for sure, and more of everything, she's a fitness enthusiastic. She loves to train. She's an early bird like me. Early bird means that 7 a.m. she's training in her home gym, and so it's one of our best ambassadors. So now I leave the mic to Luca that will go on with the interview with Kelly. For sure it will be very, very interesting for all of you, for me for sure. Luca.
Hello Kelly, good evening.
Hi Luca, how are you?
It's great to meet you. I've seen your work many times, but it's nice to see you, not physically, but at least face to face.
And same to you.
So wellness, the design of wellness areas, it's an ever more important and integral part of the design process. What trends do you see for the future? How is the way we design our homes, offices, public spaces changing from this point of view of the wellness areas, and how will it further change in the future, according to you?
Well, this is a very interesting time to be having this conversation because of what we've all been living through for the last 6-7 months. But it's quite interesting because for me, the home gym has always been something integral to me, and it's certainly been integral to the type of clients that I've designed for. So if we take home gym separate from office and more commercial, I think, and one of the reasons I've always loved Technogym is that the design of Technogym is a piece of design in itself. And I think that more so now, the well-being for people in their home is at the top of the list. Home is at the top of the list. Well-being is being with your family, having time at home. And so I think, the future is not necessarily going to be spaces that are allocated for gyms unless you have massive, huge houses where you've got endless rooms to build big gyms. I think the future actually is in creating equipment and home gyms that are integrated into design. And I think that it's something that, whereas before you might say, put it away, close the door, this is not something we want to see. This is now a part of our lives, and it's almost like a piece of art, and it's part of you, and it's the way that you live. So I think that I know certainly from homes that we're designing, people want to almost have glass walls and see the gyms and see the exquisiteness of it, because I think that it's just so crucial right now for people's well-being. And, just seeing you all sit there on the balls, I mean, it's so cool and it's so relevant. And so I think that now is the time that we need to talk about. When you look at the screen now, I'm showing homes and gyms and how it's all integrated into the space. And the place where I am now in the country, all of this new equipment is just in a living room, and it just looks brilliant. And it's just a piece of furniture that you use and makes you feel well. And I think that's so credible. And I think Technogym was so ahead of their time, if you like, and now it's just so easy to place a running machine in a living room and it's accepted.
Yeah, and plus I'm sure working out in a nice environment is totally different from being in a bunker or not seeing anything. So do you for instance?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you, for
I mean,
instance,
I think obviously if you can look out at the sea and you can, look out at greenery, of course, it's much better. But not everybody has that ability to do that. So I think that part of training is a mental thing. It certainly is for me personally. It's my meditation at between 6 and 7 every day. It's what gets my mind. It's kind of my hour where I don't have a phone ringing. I don't have to answer questions. It's my time. And mentally, it gets me in the right state of mind. And people can literally choose the places that they want to be to have a gym, whether it's a designated space or not. But I think that also a lot of what you can do in a home gym now is, you don't have to have such big equipment. So you can use the bands, the balls, all of the things that you need to be able to get fit.
Yeah, sometimes it's even enough a wellness ball. If you don't have enough space, with the wellness ball anyway, you can make dozens of
Stomach,
exercises,
glutes, everything.
So, yeah.
and
Yeah.
Kelly, when you design a wellness area, how does the creative process start, and how does it proceed?
Well, you get a brief from a client, but what I try and do is work out the equipment that a client wants, if it's in a space, and then I look at everything around it, like what's on the screen now is the massage room that leads off. So you create a design using beautiful woods and beautiful floors, and I never use downlighters. I would always use lower lighting or up-down lighting so that you look better when you're training. Obviously a lot of mirror, but it's about creating a space that is not necessarily feels like a commercial gym. It's part of someone's home. And you can have art up, the way you place the water, the towels, placing all the balls in a corner. I was dressing my place here today with all of your wonderful balls, and they look like sculptures, and for me, that's really important. So I think, obviously, for me, design and what you see is really important. So the fact that your equipment is beautiful is why I've always used it, because it fits with my ethos about design. And I think wherever you are and whatever you're designing, it's really important that it's beautiful to the eye. But also, as you say, with a ball, you can do your stomach, you can do your glutes, you can balance on it. There are so many things that you can do. The picture that's there now, that's a very small gym, but there's a massive Italian mirror all in gesso, just to give that feeling of something that's different. So again, it depends on the space, but I'm really excited about using the equipment in people's living rooms, in people's homes. I think that for me, and when you see the photography that we did today of the new equipment, it just looks so brilliant. And everyone walked up to it and said, "What is this?" It was almost like a flying saucer. They were like hovering around, looking and seeing and touching. And when I told them the amount of exercises that you could do off this one piece, this one product, it was genius and just brilliant. So it was designed personally for me, I know.
Now, turning to public wellness areas like public gyms, public spas, we are seeing a big change in terms of time, longer hours to allow for fewer people contemporarily. But I'm sure there is and there will be also perhaps a change in space, distancing, partitions. I'm sure that people will want to go back to the gym eventually, but do you think the COVID situation has brought about a permanent change in the way we design those spaces?
Yes, and actually, I don't know that everyone will agree, but I think it's quite a good thing, because for me, I have used all your equipment on the cruise ship Edge, where we had maybe 60 running machines all together. I personally, when I'm in a gym, I like to have some space anyway, if I'm traveling around the world. So maybe this is now a way that we can design public spaces in a way that actually sort of creates more like pods for people so that they can have that moment to have their own space to train in. And I think there's a way in which one can design more curved screens that are, you know, perspex, so it's not just so regimented all the way along. So I think in terms of designing public gyms and more commercial gyms, I think it's a good thing, because I think we can be way more creative. And, you know, people will have their time slots and everything else. But I think that it all seemed quite clinical before. And I think now maybe we can create something which is more interesting. And maybe it's, you know, sometimes out of bad comes good, and you see the light and you create something, you know. So I always think there's a silver lining with everything. So we're designing now a hotel in Mauritius with all your equipment, and we've totally redesigned it to sort of create these almost movable, quite zen-like pods where people can train. So you feel like you're safe, you feel like you're in your space. So I think it will be quite a good thing, actually.
Good. Home fitness is definitely a booming trend, and Technogym has a very precise position on this, that is, home wellness is not the enemy of the gym, but it's inevitable that people will integrate home and gym workouts more and more. How do you think this will affect the way we design both our residences and our public spaces?
Well, I think for home, I think, you know, the same many years ago, I did a conference with, you know, about technology and design, and how was technology going to be integrated into the home. We always used to hide the televisions. Then suddenly we were saying, look at these amazing televisions, let's show them. They're great pieces of technical art. I think with the home, as I said, it's part of the home. And if people have smaller homes, and if people are going to have to be working from home more, sharing their spaces more, we have to create areas in people's homes that are the gym. Now, if they don't have the space for the gym, then as I said, the home gym is, you know, it's part of the living room. I think commercial spaces, as I've just said, it's going to be about creating these invisible pods so that you still see out, you still feel that you're there with people, that people like that competitive feeling of being in a gym. So I think it's just going to be an evolving thing over the next few months that you will start to see. And I think, you know, with change, at first it's very scary, then you become used to it, and then it becomes the norm. And then maybe 3 years from now, we'll all be sitting having another discussion, and it will all be something completely different. But, you know, you have to move with the times, and sometimes you need to have a kick to create something that's different, you know?
So you would say this difficult time has been precious creatively for you. You've lived that as a stimulus, not just as an obstacle.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't stopped working. We're very blessed that I kept all my staff on, and we're still working and very busy. But I think, you know, often musicians say that in times of strife, they come up with the best creations. And I think that our team have come up with extraordinary design in the last 6 months. And who knows, is it fear? Is it panic? Is it, I don't know. For me, it was a time of reflection. It was a time of what was important, and health. You know, every day from the minute we had lockdown, I got up at 6, I went to the gym, I got myself in exactly the same place as I would have done if I went to work. The difference is that by not going to work, I wrote to all my team and said, you know what, guys, you have an extra hour and a half every day now. So let me tell you, get in the gym, do your home gym. And everyone started to do it. And so many of them came up to me and said, you know what, working out in the morning was so good for me. It put me in a good state of mind. So I think that what you're doing at Technogym and what I do in my business, which is create homes, I think the two joined together are a very powerful force, because everything is about the mind and how you feel. So what I do is create the space. What you do is create these amazing machines, and the well-being is what is actually going to be so integral to everybody in the world going forward.
This, this trend to have a corner of the house, an important corner of the house, dedicated to your well-being. Do you think, is it true in your opinion that COVID only accelerated this trend, but it was already going to happen?
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, because I think people would have continued going to the gym. People were very programmed to leave home and to go to work, to the gym, for a drink, for dinner. I think this is a complete opposite, and it's taking a lot of people time to get into that. And I think we're at a point now with COVID where people realize it isn't going away quickly, and therefore we have to change, and this is the new normal. And so I think we have to forget about what was before. And as I said, I think we have to look at the new normal. And we as designers and entrepreneurs have to now think what else we can provide to enhance this new way. And I think it's really important. And I think it will be absolutely the new normal for people to have spaces in their homes, whether it's a corner or something that's big. It will just be normal.
One thing that the people at Technogym have always given great importance to is the digital dimension. All their equipment is connected to cloud servers. They've recently launched a platform called Technogym Live, where on-demand workout videos will be available to athletes of all kinds and of all skills. How important is the digital dimension in your daily work? How has it changed recently, and how do you think it will progress?
Well, I think it's absolutely imperative. I am completely digitally incompetent. So the fact that I'm even talking to you from the countryside in Milan, I'm absolutely like going, wow, I'm brilliant. So technology is not my strong point. However, I mean, anything that allows you to feel that you're somewhere else. And I think more so now, if you have a running machine in your home, you don't have outside space, and you can be on a running machine and you have your image of your favorite run down in Miami or in Mykonos or wherever it is that you are. Yes, you're creating the dream. And dreaming is really important, and using your mind and using visual techniques to make you feel better, I think is so important. And obviously in my business, what we're capable of doing with technology, my team, is extraordinary from when I started 43 years ago.
Good. On behalf of all those who are following us, both here physically and in remote, I would like to thank Kelly Hoppen for sharing her inspiring vision. Thank you, Kelly, and we hope to see you soon in person.
Thank you so much, everybody. And I wish I could be there, but I will be there as soon as I possibly can. Trust me.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you.
Stay safe.
Thank you. Stay safe too. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Bene. Grazie a tutti.